What is an open relationship? Open relationships fall under the larger category of consensually non-monogamous relationships. They are relationships in which one or both partners can pursue sex, and sometimes emotional attachments, with other people. While swingers tend to keep their outside relationships to the realm of sex with other established couples, and polyamory is all about having multiple committed romantic partners, people in open relationships can usually have sex with others they feel attracted to, with the caveat that these other relationships remain casual. Who chooses an open relationship? Since there is still a lot of stigma around non-monogamy, not everyone is willing to admit that they participate in open relationships, swinging, or polyamory. However, research by academic and non-profit organizations has given us an idea of how many adults engage in non-monogamous relationships. A 2019 study reported that among Canadian adults, 2.4% of respondents reported being in an open relationship. Another study of a U.S. sample found that 4% of respondents indicated they were involved in an open relationship. Another survey found that 31% of women and 38% of men would prefer a non-monogamous relationship. In general, younger respondents were more likely to prefer non-monogamy than the older crowd. Pros of open relationships: heightened communication about wants and needs, pursuing new experiences and interests, exciting and different sexual experiences, freedom to express different sides of yourself, no pressure for one person to fulfill all of their partner's emotional and sexual needs and interests. Cons of open relationships: risk of jealousy and issues with self-esteem, risk of emotional pain as your partner experiences pleasure and happiness with someone else, risk of sexually transmitted infection, risk of unplanned pregnancy, risk of sexual addiction or loss of libido from trying to please multiple partners. Talking about an open relationship. How you approach the topic of open relationships with your partner depends on the stage of your relationship. If you are currently single or dating casually, it may be easier. In this case, bring up your ideal of non-monogamy at the dating stage. If you make it clear that you are not willing to be sexually and/or emotionally exclusive, the other person can make a clear choice as to whether they want to pursue the relationship further. If you are in a committed relationship already, things are a little more complex. First, you need to acknowledge how you both entered this relationship and whether there was the expectation of monogamy. Your partner has a right to expect you to be monogamous if that was what you agreed to at the time. Unfortunately, not everyone makes that expectation explicit. Strategies for an open relationship. Sexual boundaries. Is sex with other partners okay, and, if so, with what acts are you, or aren't you, comfortable? Be as specific as possible, including safe sex practices like condoms, dental dams, and getting screened for STIs. Emotional boundaries. Talk about what would make you jealous and how to approach each other if jealousy does occur. When discussing emotional boundaries, you can also discuss whether it's possible to not fall for someone after having sex, and what happens if that occurs. Personal boundaries. What's fair game? Are friends, co-workers, or ex-partners off the table? How do you feel about strangers? You might also want to discuss topics like sexual orientation and gender identity, both for yourselves and potential other partners. Splitting time. You and your partner should set guidelines on how much time is okay to spend with other partners, and when it's okay to cut into your time together to actively explore other relationships.